So now I take question number 3, which is an interesting question. Interesting because it is relatively easy, I must say, as compared to the previous question. You will have to put less effort, just a little bit of more mind, I would say. Like here in the question, it is mentioned that there is a square of each side 4D here. So each side of the square is 4D. And there are so many charges in the space. What will be the net force on the charge minus 2q at center? So if I look the arrangement over here, there is a charge of minus 7q over here and there is a charge of minus 7q over here. I call it corresponding charge, just opposite. This minus 7q will apply a force of repulsion. This minus 7q will also apply a force of repulsion, and they will cancel each other because they are just same distance, just opposite, and thus they will cancel the impact of each other. Both are repulsive. Similarly, if you talk about this 8q and this 8q, they are just on the other side of the diagonal, and they will cancel the effect of each other. Similarly, if I talk of this plus 3q and plus 3q, so this plus 3q and this plus 3q, they will cancel the effect of each other. This minus 4q and minus 4q, they will also cancel the effect of each other. Similarly, this minus 6q and this minus 6q, they will also cancel the effect of each other. So if I look in this arrangement, the only one charge whose effect is not cancelled is plus 3q. So this is plus 3q which is present here. There is no corresponding charge on this side, and this gap is 2d. So this is plus 3q and this is minus 3q. They are only going to have a force of attraction, and this will be 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught 3q and 2q. I should not put the sign here because I am just talking of the magnitude. I know it is going to be an attractive force divided by 2d square. So 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught 6q square by 4d square, or 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught 3q square by 2d square. This is going to be the net force, and this is an attractive force on this minus 2q charge towards plus 3q. So although there are so many charges are available, but I have to look that are they all effective? Answer is no, because many of them are, the effect of many of them is cancelled by the corresponding charges. In question number 4, which you can see, there are 5 point charges. So there is an hexagon over here. There is a hexagon which is provided to you, and hexagon has sides A, B, anticlockwise, C, D, E and F, and the distance to the center of the hexagon by each vertex is clearly represented as L. So it has minimized your effort here. And here at center, we have a charge minus q, and there are charges plus q at A, B, C, D and E. What is the magnitude of the force on a point charge of value minus q placed at the center of hexagon? So at center of hexagon, what is going to be the net force? So like previous question, there are some charges whose corresponding charges are cancelling the effect of it. Like if I look for the impact of charge on A, it is cancelled by the impact of charge on D. Similarly, if I look for the impact of charge on B, it is cancelled by the impact of charge on E. So there is only one charge which is left, which is at C, whose impact is not cancelled by because of absence of a corresponding charge. So the net force will be only due to this plus Q, and it will be 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught into Q divided by L square, and this is going to be a force of attraction towards C. So we can get the net force on this charge at center in question number 4. Simple question. I hope you could understand. So now we take this question number 5, which is almost the same concept of symmetrical distribution of charge. In question number 5, we are told, consider there are 3 charges Q1, Q2 and Q3, each having value Q at the vertices of an equilateral triangle of side L. What is the force on a charge capital Q which is placed at the centroid of the triangle? So here you are talking of a triangle whose each side is L, A, B and C, whose each side is L, and then on every vertex there is a charge Q, Q and Q. Similar charge is present on every vertex. Question is, what will be the force on a charge which is placed at centroid? So you are going to keep here a charge, maybe capital Q, at centroid. What is going to be the net force on it? Now, if by the symmetrical distribution of charge concept, if I look for, I'll say the net force on the charge capital Q at the centroid should be 0. It is like, you can take the case where you have a square, and on each side of the square you have a charge Q, and then you are looking for what is the net force on a charge at the center. It should be 0. Similarly, you are taking a hexagon, and in hexagon you have got a charge Q on every vertex, and then you are saying what will be the net force on a charge at center? Answer is 0. So in case wherever you have a symmetric distribution of charge on the vertex, on every vertex, the net force at the center you will always treat as 0. Similarly here, but I can prove it. One way I can say, yes, the net force at centroid will be 0, because every vertex have got similar charge, and then we are looking for the force at the centroid only. But while I am discussing this question, I am going to prove something which can be useful for you for doing further question of this kind. So first is, if each side of the triangle is L, how much is the distance A to O? How much is the distance A to O? For that, let's A, B, C, and we are looking for this whole angle will be what? 60 degree. Every side will have a total sum of all the angles of a triangle is 180 degree, and it's an equilateral triangle. So each side the angle will be 60 degree, and then each side is having a value L, and then if you are looking for a distance, say AP, this angle will be 30 degree. So if you are looking for a distance, say AP, the whole distance AP will be L cos 30, and it will be L root 3 by 2. So this distance AP will be L root 3 by 2. But if I am asking for what about centroid distance A to O? So this distance A to O will be 2 by 3 because it is 2 by 3 of AP. So this distance AO will be 2 by 3 of L root 3 by 2. So it is L by root 3. So one conclusion we have drawn, this is just a reminder to you, you must have done it earlier, that the distance of centroid from every vertex will be L by root 3. The second thing which we would like to learn here is, how can I say the net force at the centroid is 0? So in order to find the net force at the centroid, I can look for the different forces acting at the centroid. One force which is acting at the centroid will be Fa. It is force between charge capital Q and small q which is placed at A. The value of Fa, similarly, there will be a force which is acting at the centroid, which is Fc. And it will be also the same, Q by L by root 3 whole square. And there will be another force which is acting at the centroid, will be Fb. Force by B. And all these forces will have same value, because in every combination, the combination of charges are same and gap is also same. But question is how to find the net force, because here in this arrangement I have three forces, Fa, Fb and Fc. And also if I look at the angles, this whole angle will be 120 degree. So this half of it will be what, 60 degree. And similarly, if I look at this angle, this is 30 degree. And if I look at this angle, this is also 30 degree. So let's go for sigma fx in the arrangement. Sigma fx in the arrangement will be Fc cos 30 minus Fb cos 30. So this F root 3 by 2 minus F root 3 by 2, 0. Sigma fx will be 0 in the arrangement. Similarly, I go for sigma fy. Sigma fy will include Fa, which is downward, minus Fc sin 30 minus Fb sin 30. So it is again F minus F by 2 minus F by 2. Sigma Fy is also 0. So I have sigma Fx 0, sigma Fy 0. What is the net force? Sigma Fx square plus sigma Fy square. So net force will be 0. So at the centroid, if we have gone for sigma Fx and sigma Fy, both were 0, so the net force at the centroid will be 0. But that was just for your practice, to give you a good idea how to calculate in case of a triangle. But the fact is, because there was a symmetric distribution at every vertex, so thus the net force at the centroid will be obviously 0. So this is question number 5 for you. So now we take question number 6 in the same sequence, where we are asked, there is an equilateral triangle which is A, B and C, and charges are placed on the vertex of it are not symmetrically, they are minus q, plus q and then plus q. They are not symmetric. Find the force on each charge. The question is, find force on each charge. It means I will be doing this question in 3 parts. we'll be finding the force on every part, on every charge separately, where the separation is every side A. So let's talk first force on A. If I talk about force on A, there is going to be an attraction force here by B, FB, and similarly there is going to be an attraction force by C, FC. Although FB and FC will have same value, we can call it F, which is 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught, or constant, into Q divided by A square. But how to find net force on A? One way I can do it, this is an angle 60 degree. So I can say it is about two forces, and I know the net force will be somewhere here, FA. So FA will be the root of F square plus F square plus 2F square cos 60, root of P square plus Q square plus 2PQ cos 6 cos theta. So we can say F square plus F square, and cos 60 is half. So we are getting root 3 F square, or F root 3, and thus the net force here at A will be 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught root 3 Q square by A square, and it is towards center, it is in the downward direction. So this is about force at A. Similarly, we can look for force at B in the same arrangement. So this is case second, force at B. You have A, B and C. On A the charge is minus Q, on B the charge is plus Q, on C the charge is plus Q, and every side this separation is A. So when you are looking for the force at B, you can say one side there is going to be an attraction, FA, and one side there is going to be a repulsion, which is FC. Angle between them is 120 degree. Now FA and FC will have same magnitude, 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q square by A square. But when we are looking for the net force, either we go by component, we can make component of FA as FA cos 30, and here will be FA sin 30. Or I can say net force is root of F square plus F square plus 2F square cos 120, and cos 120 is minus half. So it will be F, and it will be 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q square by A square. Cos 120 has a value minus half. So this will be F square plus F square minus F square. So in this case the net force would be somewhere here, and it will have a value 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q square by A square. Similarly, when we are looking for the force at C, it will be the same way. There will be a force of attraction by A, there will be a force of repulsion by B, and there will be a net force of A and B somewhere here. It will have also the same value, 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q square by A square. So you can find force on every vertex. So we have come out of the previous case where we were finding the force on the centroid. In this question I have asked for the force on each vertex.